welcome to the Municipality of South Dundas' public meeting. This is for Wednesday, June 21st. Officially called the meeting to order. Does anybody have any pecuniary interest in disclose?
It's the 19th.
Thank you, 19, June 19. Thank you for that. Now we know everybody's paying attention. Okay, seeing none, well, we are taping it and we'll upload the recording afterwards. So tonight we want to discuss the draft form of our strategic plan. So we'll just get started. There will be opportunities for public comments a little bit later on into the process, just as we review some of the pieces where we're at and have some staff and obviously councilor input into the plan. So just want to start off with to say how we got here. So you know, not long after being inaugurated in November of 2022, this may be a repeat statement that I had, but I thought it'd be good for anybody watching or anybody here tonight. We plan to kick off our strat plan about 6 months in to give us some opportunity to get the lay of the land, get our training in, and then at that time we had a clerk change and CEO change, so we decided to wait until the fall of 2023, which we started with our training plan, and then due to some obviously circumstances, we kind of delayed for a few more months. With all that being said, we've had a council meeting and started to lay some groundwork on some of the main 3 pillars and some activities on that. And we worked with our strategic planners to start to put together the document, which is just all draft form and open to any comments tonight. One of the few things really we'll focus on just at the start is just what our vision and mission were, and it was from our training event where we threw out ideas in those areas, and then obviously we'll get into one thing that we want to definitely discuss tonight are what our core values are. So we've listened through our core values, want to have comments on that, and then obviously the strategic direction, which visitors and people online watching will be able to have an opportunity to get feedback. So after tonight, after the council team and the community review, one of our plans is to make sure we take the plan out to all of our committees of council, and review the ideas with them and what our pillars are, and then we get to work on the action. So we're not necessarily going to see the actual individual actions we'll do, but that's where public opinion, public comments come in, is what actions folks would like to see and how do they fit into the overarching plan. So we'll continue on that. So I'll just get started, and I'm just specifically going to read a little bit, and then we'll have discussion. So mission and vision is often interchangeable, right? And the vision is more of several statements about where we're at, and then the mission is like one statement, right? So the way typically a strat plan can work is the vision is at the top, and what we've got listed here for today is our vision is a destination for growth and well-being where living, working, and thriving intersect. In South Dundas, our vision is to transcend the traditional notions of community, transform our municipality into a destination that embodies growth, prosperity, and holistic well-being. We aspire to create an environment where residents not only live and work, but thrive, where individuals are empowered to pursue their aspirations and lead fulfilling lives. Our vision extends beyond physical infrastructure and encompasses the building of a vibrant community where connections are forged and well-being is prioritized. We envision South Dundas as a beacon of opportunity, attracting individuals, families, businesses seeking a place not only to grow but to flourish. For innovative economic initiatives and robust social programs, we're committed to laying a strong foundation for the holistic health, prosperity of our community. Our efforts are guided by the principles sustaining inclusively, of resilience, ensuring that all generations are proud of our municipality, township, and we protect it together. As we journey towards the future, we recognize the importance of collaboration and collective action. Together we build partnerships, great opportunities that transcend barriers to unlock full potential of South Dundas. Our goal is not merely to exist, but to thrive and become a destination where growth and well-being intersect, where every resident finds fulfillment, purpose, and the joy of calling South Dundas home. So that was our mission statement, which we had spent some time in our training sessions, thinking and envisioning of what we were, and we did a few exercises in that way, and we really wanted to think about the intersection of well-being, right? And you know, when you think of well-being, we think of health, right? We think of whether it's medical care and or recreation, because they offset each other, right? And you know, the healthier living you have, you know, the less need for healthcare. But healthcare is also important. So actions within those will come at a deeper level. But thinking about, you know, how we wanted to, you know, be a place where people came to stay, businesses grew that are here, new businesses may want to come, right? You know, from a residential side, you know, we want to have growth to keep funding infrastructure, right? So those are the things we're trying to, you know, as we talk through and flourish. And you know, but part of that comes from community as well. And you just think about the unforeseen incident we had at our waterfront, but you know how, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe how well the community's come together and wanted to help and do things, right? And that's what community is all about. So you know, we have a great community in that way. But comments from anybody at this point on, you know, what we've kind of got as the vision at this point? Certainly things we can loop back, right? Like, you know, as we go through the exercise. But I think that embodies some of the visions we talked about at this point. And we could take, from the public a little later on, we can take input on any of the words in that. So the mission, which was really, you know, is the one-liner statement that, you know, who is South Dundas? If you want to give a quote or, you know, put on a billboard or what it could be. And one thing when I looked around at a lot of other municipalities, and I taken a look at one of the things that a lot of people miss is saying where they're from, right? So if you want to have a tagline, I really thought it was important that it said South Dundas in the tagline. So our tagline, you know, is connecting land and water in South Dundas, where we grow, innovate, create, and deliver as a happy and healthy community. So that relates back to, you know, at the heart of our strategic plan is to create a vibrant, connected community. We strive for building welcoming and inclusive gathering spaces, support economic growth, champion environmental responsibilities, and wellness initiatives for all residents and all ages. So, you know, you think about, you know, how our community transcribed from history and, you know, which we'll remember, but obviously moving forward and change as well. So thinking about the water and the land, and our logo today, you know, behind me, same colors as my shirt. You know, the top part of the logo represents the waterway, and the lower part represents the land and our great agriculture community, and then our urban centers within. So that was a mission statement. Certainly, open opportunity. You know, some of the fine working documents, we had like 100 different ways to write that, and we kind of wanted to take some of the good input, and certainly over the 18 months, thought about, you know, how we want to go. Any specific statements on the mission statement at this point? Sounds good so far. So good. Okay. So where we get into really, and definitely would like some input on this, because I think this list is not inclusive of maybe all the activities we're thinking of, but our values, right? So a few that we captured. You know, want to collaborate, have integrity and continuously improvement, grounded in our core values, collaboration, integrity, continuous improvement. Certainly, you know, other things, you know, we could think about, you know, accountability, building trust, respect. These are also activities, you know, we could think about. I didn't know what, you know, what are, you know, how we felt as a council team and as a group, or individually how we felt of the values therefore.
I personally like the list.
You like the list? Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
you
good.
could keep adding to it.
Yeah.
With encyclopedia, but you know, you have a list a mile long.
Comments?
I think that captures what we were talking about in our training session, and I think even when you talk about respect, like collaboration, integrity, and continuous improvement go a long way to show respect as well, I think, and respect others and opinions of others, so I think that captures that as well in those words. That's not.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so with vision, mission, and values, then comes the direction, right? So this is where, you know, we start out in our pillars to think about the direction of the community, right? And then all the actions fall within the direction of the community. So from our sessions in our previous council meeting, you know, we keyed in on three pillars that we wanted to base our strat plan on. Was superior performance and operational excellence, a growing connected community, and sustainable dynamic growth. So I will flip down into the document here. So pillar number 1, superior performance and operational excellence. Now, in some of the handouts you've seen it online. Certainly, in some of the pictures, we're trying to, you know, as a document that's web-based, and obviously some print material. We would have, you know, there's a 1 page of the first page in the agenda. It is the 1 pager, but have a document. And we're trying to capture, you know, pictures throughout the municipality of the activities and where we're at. Along with where we want to be. So from a superior performance, we thought at the heart of South Dundas' commitment to progress lies in our passionate and effective team and outstanding culture. With a diverse array of talents and perspective and disposal, we embark on a journey in our pursuit of operational excellence. We prioritize, create a culture where every voice is valued, every idea is heard, and every team member feels empowered to contribute to the shared success along the way. You know, and so from operational excellence, you know, it was really important for us, and for the staff, right? We wanted to deliver operational excellence, and we wanted to have operational excellence. So, you know, it was both on both sides of that. So some of the things. Where we would play, where would we win, where would we do it? You know, implement digitalization and modernization of initiatives for services. So those are things like, you know, being able to accept any form of payment for any, you know, including cash, but, you know, credit cards, e-transfers, you know, for any services, right? You know, and we've embarked on a few things already, like our fire burn permits, right? We're moving to a better electronic system on that. So those are all things, and you know, we could list out 100 things, and this is going to be good input from the community. What things are important from the community for to make that happen, right? Because we feel that enables operational excellence to have that initiative. You know, number 2, enhance outcomes related to capital infrastructure improvements, right? So. You know, every time we touch something, we want to improve on it, right? So we're replacing something at the water plant, we're replacing a culvert, we're replacing a water line, repaving something, right? We want to enhance the work we're doing while we're doing it, right? To make that better. And then number 3, advocate for enhancement through collaborative efforts, training, development opportunities within the municipality. So, you know, being the best we can be. Within the community, within our own community, and within our own team on that. And then what's going to be really important for us, and these are things that we have to figure out, and the staff we're going to figure out, is how to measure it, right? So I've never been key on we're going to improve operational excellence. Well, what does that mean? You know, we want to have, you know, what our feedback numbers are. What is our complaints? You know, and we're going to improve X amount over a certain period of time, right? So those are the things that we'll build into the plan after we have feedback that this is the right direction we want to go. So, you know, how will we measure it? You know, we're going to complete so many continuity plans by X date. Training costs are reduced by X on that. So that's how we're gonna measure it. They're not blank on purpose because we want to make sure they're the right measure, and then we'll go get the data and measure it. Things to add or comments on operational excellence?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Rod. Yeah, just on the digitization, modernization, I mean, with the advancement of AI, I think it is important that we continue to try to be ahead of the curve on that one. But I think it's also important that we still need to provide services to our residents and businesses that are not advanced in AI or advanced in the digital world and the internet world. So I think that is one connection that, although we wanna keep ahead of the curve, we still have to realize that there is still a broader audience that we have to service, so I think that's important.
Yeah, no, agreed.
So I'm agreeing with that.
No, yeah, no, and I agree, and I wrote that down, right, the difference between personal interface and then,
Yeah.
you know, AI, right, they're both necessary, they're both, important, and we can't lose one over the sight of another.
Correct.
Yeah, so I definitely made it on that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, so forgot the microphone first time. In the advocate for enhancements through collaborative efforts and the training and et cetera, it says here within the municipality, I think that should be expanded outside, because a good example is the fire service right now, with Firefighter 101. We're doing everything in-house, which is excellent, and there's lots of departments that are looking to us to train their people, which is a potential source of revenue, plus us going out and receiving training from other municipalities or the upper tiers helps us out financially and potentially better training. So I think I would expand that instead of just within the municipality, we should be looking outside it as well.
Yeah, we could change that to say within the municipality, the counties of SDNG and our region,
Yeah.
right? So it enhances, you know, because if you think about, you know, Fire Chief Albert Hughes comes with a plan, right? How does it connect? Well, it connects through point number 3, operational excellence, right? So we're on that. So I think maybe adding in some of that to, you guys are in agreement on that one. That makes sense to make sure we include the bigger region. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, yes, the
Yeah, no, I think the only comment I would have is that, enhancing outcomes related to capital infrastructure improvement, we may wanna clarify, I think, a little bit more with what that might mean.
Okay, yeah.
More specifically, cause I think when I read that item, I'm not quite sure what it means until you kind of further explain it.
Right.
So what we put in the document is.
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah, cause if you think about where some of the thought processes were, at our council meeting, we talked about, you know, 2-year capital plans, multi-year planning, long-term capital planning, multi-year budgeting, right? I think those are some of the things, you know, obviously asset management, now that, you know, we have a document, right? Is how do we use that asset management plan on a weekly, monthly, annual basis, right? So I think that's good. Yeah, okay, good point on that. So number 2, we'll clarify, expand on point number 2. On what,
Include some verbiage.
yeah, maybe I could add a couple of those pieces, okay.
I think, Mayor, if you could just even add the planning piece to that, I think
Yeah,
that
okay.
would, you know, cause when we're looking at infrastructure for planning ahead, that might help clarify that.
Right, yeah, so I think the notes, investment plan, financial plan, asset plan, capital management plan, land management plan, right? So it's all
Yeah,
about
there's a
the plan,
yeah.
right? Okay, so, okay, noted, okay, for sure. Any thoughts on operational excellence? Okay. So a growing, connected community. South Dundas, we recognize our strengths lies in our ability to forge genuine connections and nurture a sense of belonging. We strive to build, grow, connect, understand the importance of relationships, supporting local business, creating spaces, you know, and our shared experiences. Our commitment extends beyond more physical proximity, expands into the power of community, uplift, inspire, transform. With each interaction, we initiate, we aim, we build, we collaborate. Popular word this week, and and ensure that South Dundas remains not a place to live, but a vibrant, welcoming destination for anyone that feels pride and joy. So how will we do it? And we had 4 points on that one. Establish a sustained community hubs and gathering areas to nurture diversity, inclusion, and community cohesiveness. Number 2, facilitate growth, connection of existing businesses and cultivate an environment conduct to attract new enterprises across all quadrants of the municipality. promote environmental stewardship and prioritize community health and well-being, promote wellness initiatives tailored for children, youth, and adults within the community. And I think one of the things, I remember our conversations, you know, in our thought process in the 18 months and thinking about, you know, the BIA or the Iroquois Business Group, Chamber of Commerce, about, you know, I think it was really important that it's the existing businesses, right? And that, you know, I've seen other plans, you know, go out and say, you know, well, it's all about attracting new business, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I think for us, it's like growing our existing businesses, and new businesses will grow from existing businesses. So I think that was one of the key points on that one. You know, we also captured in the quadrants, right? So, you know, some Dundas is not only Iroquois or Morrisburg, you know, the Dunbar, Hulbert are the other quadrants, you know, and Bouts Hill in between, you know, Williamsburg, you know, Dixon's Corners, Matilda, right, all the other areas. What are things happening? We do have some businesses, you know, a lot of agriculture, but there are businesses related to that could grow. You know, you think about Thurler Farms for one thing, you know, if we're like, you know, what activities they've done. So that's why we, you know, capture, it's about the quadrants as well, for sure. And we have facilities in all those quadrants, so, Dr. Jansen, you know, tell us, you know, how many, 26 facilities, 40-some facilities we're looking after. So, you know, how are those community hubs, you know, and how are they being used in all the areas? So I think that was another piece. Comments at this point? Councilor Smith, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Broad. One thing, just on the first thing you mentioned here, the establish and sustain community hubs. So a lot of people, whenever they think of a community hub, they're automatically gonna think of a building. And it doesn't have to be a building, and it was pretty obvious, whenever we saw what happened a week ago, that it's quite apparent that our Morrisburg waterfront is Morrisburg's community hub. Because
Sure.
the entire town
Rally.
rallied behind that after, it was a devastating blow, and the entire town rallied behind that cause, so it's pretty obvious that Morrisburg waterfront area is a community hub. And, I'm glad to see all the support that it got in the week after the incident happened.
Yeah, and I think some of the side notes to thinking about, you know, this number one point is like, you know, volunteer recognition, right? You know, community hub, community areas don't exist without volunteers and the volunteer recognition piece to it. I think that was important. You know, some of the things we are doing. You know, there's adopt a highway, you know, members of our own audience, adopt a highway and keep that area clean. Pitch in, there's things that we're not doing, right, that we could be adding in that whole gathering places, making them a little welcoming, et cetera, for sure. Facilitating, you know, the connection, you know, through economic development, tourism, we've linked the two together, and I think that committee is really moving ahead in a lot of good areas, right? And more things to be a lot more public, visual in the public, that is, as we move ahead. But that cultivating of the community and the businesses, and the wellness. I think one of the things, the community hub, you know, is wellness overall. Right? So I think that's important. Any other comments on pillar number 2? All right. Yeah, Councilor Ward.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, sorry. So I just wanted to make a point on number 2. I think it's a really good point that, you know, existing businesses, I really think that the municipality too should be a pillar or be an assistant to share information between different businesses that perhaps need assistance. Like for example, like I can think of like Ross doing their attraction and retention. You know, maybe some other businesses might want that information eventually, and maybe we could foster that connection and that growth between different businesses, so all the businesses in the community have the same information, but all benefit from that information as well. So I think it's a good point that he said that it's existing businesses and then cultivating that environment to share that information. So I appreciate that point too.
Good. So just finishing up, how will we measure it? So we have a few points on business retention and expansion, right? So knowing how much business we have today versus the future. Increase in utilization of municipality programming. So I do know in the recreation side, programming was a big upper in the last year, and you you know, so what is that today, and then how does that continue to grow? Physical construction, the digital hub, so, you know, thinking not only, you know, Councilor Smith made a good point, there's buildings, there's just areas, but then like people socializing within the digital world too, getting information, right? So how does that work in? Energy, forestry cover, gas, electric, all part of the environmental piece, right? So how do we measure how we're doing, right? Whether it's, you know, for us, perhaps moving from a propane Zamboni to an electric Zamboni, reduce costs, reduce emissions, and then made the air within the arena better without opening that. So those are things, you know, what are other areas that we could play some, you know, on something, just as an example that we've already done. Councilor, you know.
Yeah, just another measurement there, so all of what we're talking about here wouldn't, like you said, wouldn't be possible without volunteers, and we have a lot of great volunteers, and I'd like to see them recognized more, and so if we can come up with a way to track, or I guess even if we were just doing an event every year to recognize our volunteers, I'd love to see the volunteer base grow and see if we can measure that as well as we move forward. That would be a good measurement of that. I don't wanna do a census of volunteers every year, cause that would be cumbersome and annoying, but perhaps just at if we did an annual event to recognize the volunteers, we could do something like that.
Well, thank you. Well, actually, we're actually doing that through our Economic and Development Committee. I think in October 25th, we're gonna be having an awards excellence nights, which is going to include the volunteers as well. And it's not necessarily sorry, I didn't my back to you. But it's not necessarily meaning it's a organization. It's actually gonna be individually based as well. So we know a lot of great stewards out there that helps us clean our ditches, that put flowers in the walls and stuff. So I think it's same line. It's gonna be important to recognize that. So hopefully that'll continue throughout the years as well. So yeah. So
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
This is like an episode of Get Smart,
Yeah.
science, right?
Yeah.
It's a great time, Cole. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
Councillor
excellent,
Neal.
yeah. No, and I think we should write, I think, Councilor's point is, let's write it down.
In there.
Yeah,
Okay, I'd like it in there.
Yeah,
So,
right in there. Okay, no, that's great, okay.
The other one, I was just going back on my notes there from a while back, and then I apologize for not bringing this up earlier, and I'm not quite sure where it lands or if it even should land here, but one of the things I've always, you know, we hear that, and I see a lot of people in our room today that's probably getting close to retirement, not there yet, but I'm sure they're all getting close to retirement. One of the things we've always kind of heard was, Dundas is just a boring old retirement place, and I totally disagree with that. When I look around, and I've said this before, a lot of my friends that are 5, 6, 7 years older than I am, and they have the ability to retire because of they're on pensions and whatnot. I think one of the things we want to always strive is that retirement should be experience, and we can make it an experience versus just being retired and living in South Dundas. I think David has done a great job with his programming to continuously grow that and expand for people that are retired, for our seniors and people that are a little bit older. So I don't know where that fits in our plan, but I really would like to see something written about that or a statement about that. So again, I'm just we're kind of reviewing this together.
For sure.
Just something that I think we should try to incorporate.
Okay, yeah, cause maybe it falls on the next one, sustainability, so one of the other, let's caption that for sure, agreed. Okay, and then the third pillar is, sustainable and dynamic growth. So, some verbiage around that, so Dundas, we embrace the challenge of achieving sustainable and dynamic growth, recognized as a fundamental pillar of our collective vision for the future. So now, really now this is about the future with this strong commitment to innovation, stewardship, and long-term planning, lay the groundwork for prosperity that endeavors and endures for generations to come. Our approach to growth is holistic, balanced economic progress with environmental responsibility and social equity. We envision a future where South Dundas flourishes as a model of sustainability, where each step forward is measured not only by its immediate impact, but its lasting legacy. Guided by a vision, we embark on a journey of transformation, empowered by the knowledge of our efforts that will shape the landscape for today and tomorrow. And Ms. Moore, can I put you on the spot with a statement you said to us earlier about the growth, the right growth at the right time? What was your expression you used?
I've said it a few times, that, growth is good, but controlled growth in the right places, in a balanced way is better.
Right. So, how will we do it? So thank you for that, that's good, so that'll like maybe have us think about that as we're going through that. How will we do it? So five legs. Implement a strategic land use planning initiatives to facilitate sustainable development for both residential and commercial. Maximize the utilization of municipal lands for resale purposes. Strategically investigate potential avenues for growth corridors. Identify and develop a comprehensive grant and funding plan. And implement a digital investment package for enhanced investors interested and engagement. So those were the five legs. Certainly thinking about, plans that are already in place that we already know, the Valcroft plan is underway, Sophia Industrial Park is, there's work going on. But now it's about moving forward with a plan, the use of our lands, getting all the right input on that is obviously for sure one of the things. We have tons of opportunity, our phone is ringing, hey, what, they heard we have water and wastewater, they heard there's property, right? There's houses, there's gonna be people, right? So there's opportunity abound for some growth and corridors, right? So what's that look like as far as going the right growth at the right time, balance, or whatever. So this is about, making sure, thinking about comprehensive grant and funding plan. I know Economic Development, Tia Fraser-Dupuy, just recently has updated our website with all the funding plans and then all the future plans, right? So, how do we, make sure we get all the funding, grants available for all our businesses, or residents, whatever it may be, within the community. So we continue to work on that. Comments just on 5 points?
No.
That's the word.
Thanks, Mayor. So I've gotten some feedback on this particular item
Sure.
a few times this weekend already. So I think there's a concern when we say maximizing the utilization of municipal land for resale. I think maybe we should just add the word appropriate.
Mhm.
I don't think that we're talking about, putting up the Morrisburg waterfront for sale. That's a park right now. So I think it just needs to be clear to the public that that's not our intention and that the official plan has like open space designated areas. We wouldn't just list everything for sale. That's the feedback I've been getting. I don't think that was our intention through our discussions. I just think adding that word appropriate, might just benefit for some.
Right, and thinking back, and I'll get to you, Deputy, and I think back to, we started looking at a couple properties, with the city of Cornwall and the next, they identified that piece in front of Seaway and the feedback was, well, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna go to the public, so that's kinda why, and we haven't done that yet because we have a bunch of properties, so let's get some public opinion on some of these properties, right, what we wanna do with them, and be clear on that, and put that into the plan is what it is, so that's good. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say a couple things on, point number 1, should that be residential, commercial, and industrial growth? Which says residential,
Probably, yeah,
commercial,
yeah,
but I think
yeah,
industrial
sure,
should be,
yeah.
potential growth. And then on number 3, just the only comment I wanna make is we're already starting that with our, water and wastewater capacity study, so that is really an investment, that we're creating or making, for potential developers to come in. It's a package, it complements the county's GIS system where you can look up where our sewers are, our water mains are, it'll give us how much capacity we have left in the system, not only in our main facilities, but in the pipes itself. So that's part of that investment that we're already starting to create. So, and I think it's very important. And again, I'm not plugging company I work for, but I know we've utilized that personally. And our companies utilize the information provided, and it goes a long way. And we are well ahead of other municipalities with that information, and it's invaluable. So.
Yeah, I think it also is true for existing business. So
Correct.
Company X down the street wants to double their water capacity, do we have it?
Or
So-
expand.
Or expand, yeah, that's right, expand on that, so that's good. So how will we measure it? So, just some thoughts, we wanna attract 3 to 5 new businesses by 2026. Well, we were at a ribbon cutting today of a new business, and we're at a ribbon cutting on Friday for a new business. Tomorrow, we got the barbecue for Emer Dundas, so things are happening in that way, right? Establish, some properties per year that's ready for sale, completed a capacity study, so that's already, 50% done. Host open houses, with some measures around that, and then what is our tax base growth, right? So if you think about tax base growth, I think this one is really important from a point of either sustaining level of service without increasing taxes, and or the reinvestment of the growth into infrastructure to have more growth. So like many ways to think about it. I think this will be a good one that get community input on is to say, how do we want to invest that growth with new revenues through the tax base, through the growth, right? So a combination of that certainly opened all types of ideas. And that's why there's no measure there yet, because we want to understand what that could be. But that's really an important piece on that. Yeah, Councilor Bean.
Just one comment on the measurable. We just talked about balanced growth and everything, but I don't love putting a limit on attract 3 to 5 new businesses by 2026. So if we get 6, we're just going to turn the 6th away.
So yeah, no,
We'll take this out.
Yeah, exactly. So I would just clarify that we're not just going to stop at 5.
Yeah, no, and I think, you know what, I'm a proponent of it. Hear me out on this one for a second, because I don't want people to think that's the intent either, but, I think of other plans that say, we wanna increase new businesses. Well, then, all it is a checkbox. We got one, so we increased it. Well, that's not
I'm
good
saying
either.
3+.
Right, exactly, so I think, we can get the wording, but I think that having some specific measures along the way, did we meet that, right? I think are good. Yeah, no, we can massage this one specifically, but I think I'm a proponent of having some good numbers to how do we do measures against.
So attract at least 30 new businesses by 2026,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, that's.
We just won't put a cap on it. That's
Not doesn't have to be a cap, but it's this is also not interesting discussion for sure. We don't have space for 5 new businesses either. Like there's not 5 rental properties available right today that I'm aware of, and are from a retail maybe situation, so they have to be built or created, right? Fostering. If you think about started pop-up shops many years ago, that kind of grew into the Seaway Crafters Guild, right? That's a business now that fostered from pop-up shops. So how can we foster that? But yeah, no, for sure. So I think and then
No,
So-
your pop-up shops did not foster and create my business.
Okay, all right.
I did it on my own from the
Okay.
ground up to serve the community.
Oh, thank you for that.
For a year, so.
So we have to foster, growth in that area to have new businesses for sure. Yeah, okay, no, that's a good point. We can,
Just that follows to the properties
Yeah.
too, so, because it's not just retail shops. I mean, if there's properties that are available for these businesses that we can make available, and it's not just municipal properties either, it's coming up with we've talked about it in the past, like a map of properties that are privately or municipally owned that are available for business to developers, right?
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, good point. Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so those are the 3 pillars with the objectives. So that's the objectives of the 3 pillars. A lot of actions or initiatives, will be created and documented. We can definitely open it up to the public for any. Sorry, a quick over.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Rudd. Just we can take just a brief pause, because we're gonna reset
Okay.
the video and then start it with public comments, if that's all right.
Excellent.